Well, hello there. It's me, Miss Danielson. You're just not seeing my face because you're going to see my face, so I didn't think you needed to see my face. What? What am I talking about? Alrighty, let's just get started. I'll explain it in a second. How many of you have this memorized by now? Say it with me. I am an artist. I am a creator of ideas and a solver of problems. Sometimes the problems are on my paper, sometimes they're with my neighbor, sometimes they're inside of myself. But I know I can solve problems because mistakes are opportunities to learn and grow. And I am proud to be an artist. And you know I'm proud of you. Okay, what's on the agenda today? Something very interesting. In fact, this is a good lesson. I've been waiting for this lesson and actually had it on the calendar for forever ago. And I've taught this one before. In fact, this is kind of weird. You see down here? It's me with different colored hair and probably less wrinkles. I filmed this video actually 2 years ago, or was it 3 years ago? No, I can't remember. And I just was watching it and I'm like, well, I did a good job then, so I'm going to let myself talk. So I'm going to hit the play button and here, we'll call her our substitute teacher. This is Miss Danielson. And actually, that's weird because what I'm recording this video for 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 3 years ago, was because I was absent. So there's like this whole backstory, and you're going to hear me talk about the substitute. But after that, it gets good. I promise. So it's me, Miss Danielson, and younger Miss Danielson.
Hello. I just want to say I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm not there. Although you are in good hands with Mr. Haynes. Um, the timing is bad. The fact that I'm gone 2 days in a row. But I don't want you to miss out, and I don't want you to fall behind other classes because of my absence. So it's kind of weird, but I'm going to pretend I'm here. So I'm filming a little video and I'm going to put it on the slideshow. So I'll talk you through each slide as if I was actually here and we were having a conversation. Alrighty, so this first slide is showing some new vocabulary possibly. We've got the word realistic, we've got the word abstract, and then a picture. We'll talk about that picture in just a second. When we talk about realistic art, we might categorize that by things that look real. So for example, you are either finished or finishing your self-portrait drawing. So I guarantee if, let's say, a random stranger walks in the door and we had all of our portraits out on a table, they would know that those are portraits. They would know those are faces. Even though some of you have different styles and some people's drawings look more cartoon, even though we might have used green to color them in, people would still recognize those as faces. So your drawings are going to fall into the category of realistic because people can recognize them. Now, abstract art is not as easily recognizable. So for example, that small picture at the bottom of the screen there, that is an abstract work of art by an artist named Roy Lichtenstein. And he's an American artist and he loves to include shapes. I see shapes in the picture. He loves the primary colors, yellow, red, blue, white, black. I don't see blue in this picture, but he usually throws it in there. He loves patterns. As you can see, those little stripes. Most of the time he also includes polka dots, not in this one though. But this is an actual abstract picture of a something. Now that something is something he would know, but you might not be able to tell by looking at this picture. So let's take 3 guesses of what you think it could be. So 3 people can raise your hand. Mr. Haynes will call on you. And let's see if you're right.
Are you raising your hand? Who's going to call on you? I don't know. That's where the whole thing kind of went downhill. Let's see what's next. Oh, wrong. I'm just kidding. I couldn't even hear your guesses. The other Miss Danielson couldn't hear their guesses. But did anybody make the guess? Did anyone say
cow? Did anyone say cow? I would be so impressed if you did. No one said that yet. So you I don't know, like a gifted abstract interpreter if you did say cow. So here's the deal. These 6 cows that you see on the screen right now were all created by the American artist Roy Lichtenstein. And what he does is he's doing something called a study. And a study would be kind of like a series. So those of you that love to read series, when you're picking a book, you pick the first book, get into it, then you pick a second book, things are changing, characters develop. The same thing's happening with his art. So in his study or series, he's starting off with a couple of the cows at the top, and they're looking fairly realistic. The second one that's blue, that's a little different just because it's blue, but you can still tell it's a cow. As it's progressing further down, they're getting more and more abstract, meaning he's moving away from realistic curves and lines, and he's getting more into sometimes geometric shapes or changing the colors, adding in patterns. The only thing that helps me by the time I get all the way down to the bottom is that I can still see kind of that curved line where I feel like the horn should be, but maybe I'm making that up. Maybe that's not a horn. And that's kind of one of my favorite parts about abstract art. It's interpretation. So at the top, I show you that picture of that cow, and everybody goes, look, it's a cow. And then you start asking yourself, I wonder why there's no grass, or I wonder if that cow's happy. Does he live in the fence? Is there other cows around him? Like, you don't know, but you start to ask realistic questions because it's a realistic picture. When you get into abstract art, your imagination is going to fire up. So if you guessed anything other than a cow, you weren't correct as far as Roy Lichtenstein, but it doesn't mean you were wrong. I was teasing you when I said wrong. You might see things. Somebody yesterday guessed that it looked like a playground with a basketball court on it. And I can see that. So I love that abstract art fires up our imagination. It makes us think of other things besides just what's right in front of us.
Did you ever think of that before? Okay, let's see what's next. Goodness, Miss Danielson was a good teacher back in the day.
Now, Roy Lichtenstein was not the only artist to create a series of cows. This guy that you're seeing here on the screen, his name is Pablo Picasso, and Picasso was one of the most famous abstract artists to have ever lived. And if you look over his shoulder there, you can see a face in the background.
Right there.
That is definitely abstract. I see the face, but I also kind of wonder why the eyes are not even. I wonder why the nose is so long, why the face is stretched out. I wish it wasn't blurry. I want to look at that picture. He is creating an abstract face. There's a couple of clues that tell us it's a face, but there's still a lot of questions. And maybe you're looking at it and not seeing that face, and that's okay too, especially for abstract art. So the next few slides are going to be a series that Pablo Picasso drew. He actually etched them, which means he carved them into metal and then printed them. But they are also cows. You'll see them progress from realistic toward the beginning to very abstract, or I can use another word that says primitive. So by the end, you'll see just a few swishes and lines and shapes, and he's calling it a cow. I can still kind of see the cow, but we'll see what you think.
That looks like a cow. It's getting weird. I see a bowl, but then I see a strange human eye. Oh, interesting. Okay, this one actually I feel like I can recognize better than the last one. Oh, no, this is back to being kind of realistic. Well, I saw that in one of the past ones. Did you see that, like, big letter A in the one two bowls ago? Okay, what is wrong with that face? What? I'm like here for it, and then is it a nose? Are those two eyes? What? What is happening?
All right, now that you've clicked through Picasso's version of a bowl and you've noticed how it changed and progressed, you're going to actually make your own study. But this time, let's go off of something that we've been spending some time on. So let's do a portrait. So we don't have to worry about drawing a cow. We're going to draw a face. And the face is going to change depending on how you decide to change it. So there are times when I've done this and I've completely mixed up everything. And none of the four of mine actually relate to each other. But then there's also, and I'll show you an example of a student in Mrs. Starkey's class who he created a study and he used the same shapes over and over again, but he rearranged them every single time. So with your paper, you can see on the screen there's a, looks like a checkerboard. That's actually your paper. So you're going to fold your paper in half once and then in half again twice. When you unfold it, now you've just created quadrants on your paper. So you've got 4 sections. So it'd be very simple just to draw in those 4 sections, one drawing in each. That way you'll have a study of 4. When you're drawing, you're just going to use pencil, and then each face, like I said, can however you want. So I'll show you the picture from Mrs. Starkey's class, and then I'll show you mine. Mine's not all that great. I was taking inspiration from all kinds of things. So at one point it was trying to show geometric shapes, and then I thought, ooh, wouldn't that be fun to kind of do a Jen Stark drippy paint face? And then somebody behind me said they were going to use the letter A, and I was like, oh, I'm going to use the letter D. So you'll see that too. So your 4 abstract drawings that you're going to create today should be of faces, and they can be either similar to each other or they can be drastically different. It's really up to you.
How cool is this? So he started off with 1. I mean, I know this was 3 years ago, but this feels like yesterday. He started it off with 1, and it's pretty realistic, although he added like 2 kind of noses. Neither one of them are realistic looking, so he was already kind of playing around with shapes. And then he keeps all of the same shapes. So you'll see him just rearrange all these shapes. So he takes this like weird nose, like to me it looks like a number 7, and then he brings it over here, and then he stacks the eyes, and then here was that other nose. It was here, and then he brought it over here up into the hair, and even, oh, get back there! I wasn't finished talking. Oh no. There we go. Sorry about that. I love how he even kind of changes the straight line of the hair. And then look what happens down here. Now he's kind of exaggerating. So he's rearranging things. Actually kind of looks like a monkey, how a monkey has that kind of snout. He rearranged them. He brought the eyes up into what was the hair, right? But now it just looks like part of the head. He enlarged the mouth. He shrunk the other part of the nose. But he did forget to put the ears on this one. Oh, I forgot the ears over here too. This one's funny. So bringing the shapes, moving them around, rearranging, flipping the hair. It almost looks like now it's a neck. So if you are stuck and you can't think of any ideas, you start with 1, just 1 face, and then in your second quadrant or part of your paper, you rearrange everything just like he did. Then again, and then again. That was Loto. Oh, Loto, does your little sister still go to our school? I know, I can't remember. Anyway, this was Loto's drawing from a few years ago. If you know him, maybe you're related. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are just quick drawings, so you don't have to spend a ton of time on them. Like it says, the directions where you could make them kind of realistic, but also abstract, but make sure that they still have some characteristics. Like, I'm not going to just put 2 dots on the paper and go, that's a face, Miss Danielson. You can't tell me it's not. I'm an abstract artist. You got to kind of add a little bit more. In fact, we've done this every year, and if we were together, we would do it together. It's a good activity. So this is a brainstormed list. That means the whole class sat around and contributed ideas. So when I said, give me some ideas that you think of when I say the word abstract art, now that you've learned a little bit. So here's what people said: non-realistic, weird, shapes, lines, colors, upside down. And now I'm going in random order because random's on there too. Imagination, really big, super small, patterns, extra details, destroyed something. Did any of those faces that Loto drew, did they look like they were destroyed? They kind of did. They're flat. You could flatten something. You can make it look crazy. You could make wiggly lines if everything was smooth. Gosh, look at all these things you can do, you guys. And what Loto did right down here, he put them out of order or misplaced. I really could keep going forever. I have so many just like thoughts about abstract art. I love them. I grabbed these from a book, I want to say. I found them in a book. No, I can't remember. That's been a while. So you can see how, like, okay, all right, first of all, I don't know what that is. I was going to talk about it, and then I realized I have no idea what that is. What is this? Is this a mink? I think so. So we have the little mink animal, realistic, and there it is, abstract, by just using shapes. It's kind of fun. Here's elephant realistic, elephant abstract. So yeah, the assignment was supposed to be faces, like human faces, but if you're not connecting with that and you all of a sudden are like, man, could I take a kookaburra from Australia and create, look at all these versions of it, you guys. A kookaburra is a bird. Look at how many different ways the artist came up with the idea of showing this bird. This one's probably, no, I don't know if that's the most realistic or this one. I don't know. But you can see how artists do these studies a lot. We're back to Picasso. You saw some of his. Here are 3 of his portraits in color. All right, I could keep going. I probably will. There's so many pictures in here. This was done, these are all done by an Canadian artist. Oh, how do you say her name? Sandra Sills. Oh, it's been a while. Silsberg? Oh, it's like a Silversberg. Silversberg? I don't remember. I should have looked that up before I started to say it. These, I don't know who the artist is. These are more contemporary. Contemporary is another word of like current or now, where Picasso lived a long time ago. These people are alive now. I've never noticed this one before. I mean, I've noticed it, but look at the second set of lips down there. Love it. These are all pretty cool. So as you're creating yours, explore, play around a little bit. As just like always, yes, this is a video, but you can always look at the slides and get ideas from the slides that are here. And then you can also, you can change your colors. Oh, we're not painting this. Sorry. Boy, that feels bad. Sorry, this was made for in person. Look at that. You could change the variety in your lines. So sometimes even as you're drawing, even if you have no paint, no color crayons, nothing except a pencil or a marker or something, you can change the width of the lines, and that can create some variety and interest. If you do have color, I mean, we were playing around with all of these different color schemes and the color wheel. Maybe you want to add color and you want to do it purposefully. Maybe you want to go, I'm only going to do warm colors, or maybe you say, I'm only going to do cool colors. So there are so many options for this. And I'm going to go back because sometimes I get distracted and you ride along with me on the distraction train. So what are we doing today? You're going to take a piece of paper and fold it in half and then fold it in half again so that you now have 4 sections, also known as quadrants, on your paper. I guess if you didn't fold it, you don't fold it. Just make sure you put 4 faces on your paper. All right. And then you're going to start with 1, and then you're going to change it so that it looks more abstract. Do it again. Do it again. Can you do it? I think you can. I think you've like become experts at the abstract portraiture world. Give it a try. And then again, if you end up adding color, awesome. If you just do the pencil part, it's fantastic too, because abstract art is mostly about the ideation of it, or the creation of the ideas, that creative problem solving. All right, explorers, have fun. You know the drill. Stick it in your Google, Classroom, my artwork folder, or email me. All right, I miss you. Have fun.